Namaha. Om. Om. So in this Vishuddha Vedanta Sara, okay, Vedanta Sara is a summary of Vedanta or essence of Vedanta. It is Vishuddha. Yesterday somebody asked this question. ನಿನ್ನೆ ಯಾರೋ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ವಿಶುದ್ಧ ಏಕೆ? ವೈ ಕಾಲ್ ಇಟ್ ವಿಶುದ್ಧ? ವೈ ಕಾಲ್ ಇಟ್ ಪ್ಯೂರ್ ವೇದಾಂತ? Is there an impure Vedanta? Why call it pure Vedanta? Swamiji called this book Vishuddha Vedanta Sara, essence of the pure Vedanta. Sometimes he calls it pristine pure Vedanta. Why call it pure? Because the Vedanta literally means the end of the Veda, the end portion of the Veda. End portion of Veda is Upanishads. Upanishads generally, Upanishads around 10 or 11 or 13, let us say. 12 or 13 Upanishads are most ancient one. Shankaracharya has commented mainly on 10 and quoted 3 more. 3 more Upanishads he quoted. On 10 he wrote his commentary. So these 13 Upanishads are called in English as major Upanishads. Such a word, such an expression doesn't exist in Indian languages. You can call them as a major. Major means most ancient Upanishads, let us say. Ancient Upanishads. These Upanishads generally occur at the end of the Veda. Therefore, we call them Veda Anta. It is purely a positional name. It doesn't reveal the subject matter. The name Vedanta doesn't reveal the subject matter, but only shows the positional name. Where does it occur in the Veda? But in a sense, it means that the culmination of the Veda. Culmination means after practicing many other sadhanas, you come to this teaching. It is the culmination, it is the final teaching of the Veda. After this, nothing remains. Because once you learn Vedanta, then you come to know everything of life, nothing remains. Therefore, it is the end of the Veda, Vedanta. So why call it pure? When the Vedanta, this is an essence of Veda, this book, it is an old edition, okay, just for showing you. This is a small size, this is a bigger size, the second edition, little thicker, the alphabets are little bigger. So this is the second edition, this is an old edition. I'm used to use this book only. Anyway, so essence of the extract of the entire Vedanta. In a pristine, pure means Upanishad is the main Vedanta. Then Shankaracharya's commentary called Bhashyam. Bhashyam is a technical name. A primary commentary is called Bhashyam. Bhashyam in general means commentary. But Bhashyam means a primary commentary. Primary means for Advaita, Shankaracharya's primary commentary, any other Acharya within the Advaita tradition, anybody who writes commentary follows Shankaracharya only. So Shankara's is a primary commentary, therefore we call Bhashyam. Similarly, Ramanuja wrote. So according to Ramanuja's Sampradaya, the Ramanujacharya's commentary is a primary commentary. All others are his followers. So followers also penned their own, composed their own commentaries, but nobody calls them as a bhashya. The word bhashya is reserved for the primary, the pradhana commentary, pradhana vyakhyata, primary commentary. Similarly in Madhvacharya tradition too, Madhva Bhashyam is called Bhashyam. Other commentary is not called Bhashyam. It's a technical name. Okay, let us leave it. So Shankaracharya's Bhashyam, Shankara has composed his Bhashyam on Upanishads. Therefore, basing on Upanishads and Shankaracharya's commentary. And also Gaudapada, to some extent he takes help of our Swamiji, takes help of Sureshwaracharya too. Because after Sureshwaracharya is proven to be direct disciple of Shankaracharya. Regarding other acharyas, there is a technical little doubt. So they have little deviated from Shankaracharya. This is what Swamiji's view when he has studied the commentaries on Shankaracharya. He found that some of them in certain points they have little deviated, and there are many differences of opinions within the later commentators, later acharyas on Shankara. There are many differences of opinions, they differ from each other. First, there are two traditions within Shankaracharya. Within Advaita tradition, one is Vivarana, another is Bhamati. Two schools are there. Again further, they got further divided. There are too many further branches. So they disagree with each other, criticize each other, it goes on. Therefore, Swamiji felt that Shankaracharya's alone is the pure Vedanta. So he based this summary purely on Shankara's and a few places on Sureshwaracharya. Gaudapada, of course, the previous to Shankaracharya. Gaudapadacharya wrote some Karika. Karika means some shlokas on Mandukya Upanishad, around 200 shlokas. Shankaracharya had respect for Gaudapada's, those particular shlokas. So much he respects him, his previous acharya. He calls him his own guru or paramaguru, his guru's guru, grand guru. Guru's guru, paramaguru we call them. Guru, paramaguru, parameshti guru. This is how we refer to. Guru is your direct guru. Paramaguru is your grand guru. Parameshti guru is great grand guru. In tradition, just as Grihasthas mention their father's name, grandfather's name, great-grandfather's name. These three names they have to remember, because in all their Shraddha ceremonies, in rituals, they have to remember their three names, their ancestors at least three, if not others at least three. Similarly for sannyasis, we remember our three gurus. So Guru, Paramaguru, Parameshti Guru. So daily, you must have seen my danda. I am carrying the stick, danda we call them. In that danda every day we do tarpana. Tarpana means we offer water. First Guru, at the lowest end Guru, middle Paramaguru, uppermost is the Parameshti Guru. So we have to do 12 times offer water to them. Do Namaskara, Gurave Namaha, Gurubhyo Namaha. Then next Paramagurubhyo Namaha. Then Parameshti Gurubhyo Namaha. Like this we have to do that. Then Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara, many other things. Anyway, all those things you don't need it. So in our danda, we have that thing. So it is called Vishnu Danda. With Purusha Sukta daily do little Abhisheka. Daily some snana you do to the danda with Purusha Sukta and do Namaskara to it. It is a Vishwarupa Paramatma. Therefore Vishnu Danda or Vishwarupa Danda we call it. Whole Brahmanda is in it. So that is Vishwarupa Danda. So Guru, Paramaguru. Similarly here, Shankaracharya treats his Gaudapadacharya, his Paramaguru. Paramaguru's writings equal to Upanishad, because his statements are so beautiful. Gaudapadacharya's shlokas explain Vedanta so beautifully, so clearly. So he treats those shlokas as equal to Upanishad and writes commentary on it. Therefore, Sachidanandendra Swamiji bases this book, or in generally all his writings, on these three things. 3 or 4, let us say. Upanishads, Bhagavad Gita, Gaudapadacharya, then Sureshwara. Upanishads first, Bhagavad Gita second. Gaudapadacharya's Mandukya Karika, third one. Sureshwara, 4. These 4 books Swamiji takes as the earliest Vedantic books and standard books, acceptable to all people. Nobody differs on these 4 books. Later acharyas, they may disagree and differ from each other. But here, nobody differs. Everybody unanimously agrees these 4 acharyas. Therefore, Swamiji bases his teachings on these 4 books alone. Therefore, he calls this as a pure Vedanta. That means pure means it is universally accepted and it is in keeping with everybody's anubhava, universal experience. Later people, they started arguing. Arguing means they started trying to establish through logically arguing. Like lawyers argue, they keep on arguing. When you keep on arguing, have you seen our lawyers? You go to a court and see them. Wow, very difficult. When you listen to one lawyer, it looks that what he says alone is right. Next, he says that he alone is right. Because each one argues in such a way and presents in such a way that it looks for the listeners that what he says alone is right. Because argument is such, the way of argument is such that anybody can explain anything. Anybody can argue in favor of anything and make you convince. Because you underplay something and overplay something else. So that looks important and this looks under. Therefore, the fact you can reject and lie you can support. Because the argument has got such a capacity. Therefore, with argument you can't establish truth. Because argument only creates a difference of opinion, lot of ideas, theories. They create theories, ideas, and also contradictions and conflicts. Therefore, these acharyas, Upanishads, Bhagavad Gita, Gaudapada and Sureshwara, they did not indulge in unnecessary argumentation. Unnecessary argumentation they didn't indulge. So their main aim was directly pointing out the truth. Therefore, he based his teaching on these 4. That's why we call it pure Vedanta. Okay? So this doubt is clear regarding the pure Vedanta, Vishuddha Vedanta Sara, the essence of the pure Vedanta. Okay? He wrote 2 books that way. Vishuddha Vedanta Sara, Vishuddha Vedanta Paribhasha. Okay? Of the same size, slightly bigger one. In fact, these 2 books should have been translated and published both into Telugu, into Kannada as well as English. Neither happened. Not even into Kannada, not into English. I am only trying. Telugu I have published long before. This Vedanta Sara I have published long before in Telugu. In English still I am attempting. Few pages manuscript is with me. A part of it I have done, I have been doing it now. Vishuddha Vedanta Sara and Paribhasha. These give a summary of the entire Prasthanatraya. All Upanishads, Bhagavad Gita, Brahma Sutra, he summarized, extracted the summary of all complete Prasthanatraya. It's a very excellent book. Anyway, in these things, the preliminary like Vairagya, Jignasu and all that, you have studied already Vedanta anyway, you are not new to Vedanta. These preliminary portions, I leave them only on Avasthatraya Viveka, around 10-12 pages, maybe 12 or 14 pages. Around these pages only I want to cover during these our 14 days, I think. Today we shall start up to 27th, I think they are here. They are going to be here until 27th of this month. So these few days we will discuss this thing. So Avasthatraya Pariksha. ನನ್ನ ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷು ಸಿಂಪಲ್, ನಿಮಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಅರ್ಥವಾಗ್ತದೆ. ನನಗೆ ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷ್ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಬರಲ್ಲ, ಏನೋ ಕೇಳಿ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಬಂತು. ನಾನೇನು ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷ್ ಮೀಡಿಯಮ್ ಓದಿದ್ದವನಲ್ಲ. I have not studied in English medium. Therefore, I picked up little bit by listening to other acharyas. So my English is very simple. In between, I use a lot of Sanskrit words too. So it is easy. Anybody who studied up to matriculation can understand my English. Okay? So don't worry about that. Anyway, as they requested me, at the end of the talk, I shall summarize that day's talk at the end in Kannada. Okay? ಕೊನೆಗೂ ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಇಷ್ಟೊತ್ತು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೆಲ್ಲ ಸಾರಭೂತವಾಗಿ ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಮತ್ತೆ ಐ ಶಲ್ ಸೇ ಅಗೇನ್ ಇನ್ ಕನ್ನಡ ಎಟ್ ದ ಎಂಡ್ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ 10 minutes. If those people don't start it, the drilling won't start, I will do. They have stopped it for sake of us. As soon as we finish, they will start the drilling. It was there just a few minutes ago. They will restart their drilling machine. They won't drill there, they start drilling in our ears. It is so much. Okay, so Avasthatraya Viveka. Viveka is discrimination. Avasthatraya, discriminating between 3 states. Okay, though the name indicates Avasthatraya Viveka, the name itself says, discriminating between the three states. In fact, it is not a discrimination between three states. It is discriminating between Atma and states. The reality is discriminating the Atma and states, because at the moment the Atma is experienced as undergoing three states. I am undergoing waking state, dream state, deep sleep state. So this is how everybody experiences. So all our various experiences can be reduced to these three alone. We undergo many experiences. All those experiences can be reduced to three, essentially three. There is no experience which is beyond these three. You may have a coma, murcha means swooning. So the coma can be included in Sushupti. Samadhi, Nirvikalpa Samadhi of yogis can be included in deep sleep because it is similar to that. And all our dreamy states, all our dreaming states can be included in dream. The remaining normal state is included in waking. Therefore, whatever states we undergo, all those states can be reduced to three alone. Therefore, if we examine the three states, all our states get examined. Therefore, I exist in these three states. I am undergoing or I am living through these three states. My entire life comes under three states alone. So I have to know what is my real nature. What is my real nature which is common to all three states? These three states are very important because these three states in a way cover. We exist in all our three states. These three states are covering up our real nature. Covering up means we see superficially state alone, we miss our real nature because the state is covering up. Now we have to examine. What do we do by examining means? By examining what is my real nature which obtains in all the three states commonly. Because when there is one state, others two states don't exist. When I am in waking, I am not in dream and deep sleep. When I am in dream, I am neither in waking nor in deep sleep. When I am in deep sleep, neither I am waking nor I am in dream. This shows that each state, we don't get all the three states simultaneously. Okay, we don't experience all the three states simultaneously. We get one after the other. Therefore, when I am in one state, others two states are excluded. That means I don't exist. So what is my nature? I appear in one way in waking state. I appear in dream state. I appear in deep sleep state. So what is my original nature underlying in all the three states? When waking goes away, when I leave of my waking state, what part of me goes away and what part of me remains unaffected? Okay, what part of me goes away? And when I go to dream, I assume in another state and I experience that. When I leave the dream, what part of me goes away and what part of me remains? Then in deep sleep also. Like this in all the three states, what part of me remains unaffected in all the three states? What comes and goes and what remains eternally? This distinguishing we have to do. So generally we take what we see ourselves in waking state, what we see ourselves in waking state, we take that as our real nature. Like I am an individual with a body, hands and legs and all these parts. I've got sense organs. I experience the world, I see the world. I've got a mind. With mind I have emotions, thoughts. I've got my own identity, individual identity. I experience time, space, world, people and all these things. So as an experiencer of the waking world, I am an individual. Now am I this individual in reality? This waking individuality which I have now, am I this really? So how do we know what is my real nature, what is my tentative nature, tentatively assumed nature? What is my tentatively assumed nature? What is my real nature? How do you distinguish? By watching. By watching. You watch what is tentative. How do you know? You watch. What goes away, what leaves you, it is a tentative. What doesn't leave you, what remains eternally, that is your real nature. It is simple logic. Therefore, what part of me remains always, what I get rid of, what I lose, and what remains out of me, you watch these two things. That's what is Viveka. Viveka means discrimination. Discrimination is not physically separating through your hands. It is by observation and discovery. Observation and coming to see what remains and what goes away. This I have to watch. It is watching, it is observation alone. Therefore, it is a jnana, not a kriya. Kriya means not a physically, it is something like 2 or 3 things are get mixed up like 2 grains, like rice and other grains, wheat and other grains get mixed up, you keep on removing. But this separation, this viveka is a physical viveka. It is a physical viveka. Really you separate them. But here it is not physically separating body and atma. It is only in understanding. You watch, you observe what is real me and what is not me. But otherwise, commonly, before we do this discrimination, we seem to get mix up the body, mind and sense organs which are tentatively assumed roles. Body is a tentative assumed one, because I don't have the same body in my dream. Do I have this body in the dream or even deep sleep? I don't have this body. Even the sense organs I don't have. In dream it is a totally different world. Again in deep sleep I have neither the physical body nor the mind nor even individuality. So what is a tentative role which I assume, and what is my real which I don't assume, which actually existing, which is really existing? This you have to distinguish. Why do we have to distinguish? You need to discriminate where they get mixed up. There is a need to discriminate when they get mixed up. Now there is a mixing up of the real self and the tentatively assumed false self. Anatma, Atma. Atma word literally means myself, oneself. Anatma is non-self, self and non-self. What is not me, I take it as myself. So here in my present condition, I am not purely me. Me means myself. I am not purely the self. I seem to include certain non-self within me. I seem to include some of the elements of non-self in with me, and this mixed condition we have been living. When you mix the other things, what is not you, you take what is not you, the other one which is non-self, the nature, qualities of all non-self, you take upon yourself, and you get worried naturally. Non-self has a different nature, self has a different nature. So when I assume the non-self as myself, like body, mind and sense organs, so the qualities of the body are taken as my own qualities. The condition of the body, the qualities of the body, the power of the body. Body is inert. I too feel that I am inert. Body has got a birth and death. Body is subject to birth and death, subject to ill health, subject to suffering. It has got many other problems. Because body gets easily influenced by the external world. Okay, fire, it is subject to fire, heat and cold. So when body is subject to heat and cold, I feel that I am subjected to it. When body is subject to birth and death, I feel that I am subject to death. Whatever is the condition of the body, the quality, the age. If the body is young, I feel I am a young boy. If the young person, if the body is old, I feel I am old. That means I am equal to my body. So this way, bodily features, bodily qualities are taken upon oneself. This is what our nature is. This is how the common man thinks. So here, we have to evaluate our nature. We have to observe and determine our nature, ascertain our nature. After examining our presence in all the three states, not in one state alone. If I determine my nature only based upon waking state, I am only this individual, this present individual which is well known to us. Okay. But if I watch my existence in all the three states, then what goes away, what I leave out, what cannot be left but remains eternally, that will be distinguished, that will be understood as a separate. Okay, so body I don't carry all the time. In dream, it goes away. In fact, I don't do it, it automatically goes. Okay, body doesn't exist in my dream. In deep sleep, even mind doesn't exist, nor even individuality. But still, I continue to exist. In deep sleep, I continue to exist. So, what is my real nature in all the three periods of time? If this we watch, we come to discover our real nature, which is independent of the other elements. Tentative elements we take upon ourselves, wrongly, falsely. This is our present fate, and this is what we need to do to understand our real nature. This is what is whole Vedanta, isn't it? So, avasthatraya viveka. There are certain other prakriyas also. Prakriya means the method of inquiry, method of observation, method of searching or method of investigation into oneself. In this search into oneself, investigation into oneself, this avasthatraya is one prakriya, one method. There are other methods also Upanishads discuss. One is drigdrisha, subject to object, knower known relationship. Not relationship, that is a method of observing who is the knower and what is known. Another is panchakosha, 5 koshas, 5 envelopments, 5 envelopes, panchakosha. Then samanya vishesha. Like this we have got several methods. Out of them, avasthatraya is a very beautiful method, is the best method. Swamiji calls it prakriya ratnam. Prakriya ratnam. He calls avasthatraya viveka is a prakriya ratna. Ratna means it is a jewel like. It is the most important, most beautiful. Okay, so we take avasthatraya viveka. Tarihi tameva prakriyam. I just read out, that is our tradition. I read out and explain, okay. Tarihi tameva prakriyam yatha tatchena vishadaya samanugrunantumam bhagavantaha. If avasthatraya viveka, avasthatraya prakriya, the method of examining 3 states is really so great, so beautiful, then please explain to me how to do that. Shishya asks, then Guru starts explaining, tathaivastu, tam vedantesha etopadishtam shravayishyami. Okay, I am teaching you now. As the method is used in Vedantas, savadhanam shrono, listen to it attentively. Attention is the most important. If you miss the attention, if you don't concentrate it, you miss it, you think of something else, you are likely to lose it. So yadetat abhidana abhideya vibhagena vibhaktamiva vibhavyamanam kalatrayavarti kalatrayatitancha tat sarvamapi abhidana abhideya vibhagarahita paramartha tattvameveti vijñapayitum pravruttayam mandukyopanishadi padachatustaya swarupa atma samarpanartham avasthatraya prakriya tavat prastutasti. There is a slightly another inner detail prakriya. I think we don't go into the detail. That we will discuss in Mandukya Upanishad directly. So that point we go directly into avasthas only, directly into states, 3 states alone, leaving out the little other details because that's a complicated one, unnecessary here. That will take days together. Jagarita sthanaha. First, what is waking state? What is waking state? Then you may ask, don't we know waking state? We know what is waking state. No. When Upanishad teaches, it gives its own vision, its own way of looking at it. Common man looks at states, but common man's looking is too superficial. We look at things and miss many things. You see the difference generally, we see this difference between a common man's observation and a scientist's observation. Why scientist? Any technical man, any expert, any technical person, any expert, any well-educated man, Any research scholar's observation is different from common man. We generally go to see museums, historical places, temples we visit. Do we know what to watch there? We just see the temples, oh how beautiful it is, and go away. The technical man, he knows that architecture and that sculpture, all the details, he knows that. Once somebody explains, he will be shocked. Oh, there are so many details, so much in it, and we just don't know. So, an educated man in a particular field observes very minutely. You go to museum, you watch all the colors, and okay, people go there just for a time pass and a holiday, just entertainment to have, watch, and then friends go there, they chat and then tease each other and joke, and then watch and then eat and come away. That's all. They go there just for eating and drinking, only that. But if you watch the museum, there are certain subtle things to be learned. Okay. Similarly, you go any place. You go to forest means there's things, there are trees and that. But in trees, there are no two trees are same. You can learn a lot about the trees, flowers, leaves, and so many things. That the common man doesn't observe. Only a technical person observes. Similarly here, waking state we know, but that's not enough. So Upanishad presents waking state here. He says, Jagarita sthanaha bahishprajnaha. Waking state is your consciousness is outward looking. In waking, how is your consciousness? In your consciousness, you are facing outside. Because through your sense organs, you are always watching the external things. Your mind is always external. Unlike in dream. Dream is your own personal, private, isn't it? Dream is personal and private. So in dream, you have many objects, you project, you imagine and see them. But all that is within you alone. But whereas this, in waking state, you always face the external things other than you. Therefore, Jagarita sthanaha bahishprajnaha saptanga 7 limbs, ekona vimshati mukhaha, 19 gates. It has gotten, these are all technical way of Mandukya Upanishad talk. This is Mandukya mantra. It is a mantra of Mandukya Upanishad. So, ekona vimshati mukhaha. It has got 19 gates. Stula book. It enjoys the gross worldly objects. Then Vaishvanaraha, he is a universal person. You see, he is not an individual person. Waking state is a universal person. Here, these two things we have to learn. One is Saptanga, Vaishvanara. Only these 2 points we have to learn here. Other things are known to us and you can easily understand them. These 2 are important. The Upanishad has to teach us. One is Saptanga, the waking Atma, the self with reference to entire waking state. So the waking state has to be seen as a total state, comprehensive state. Total is a comprehensive, samagra avastha. Comprehensive state is Saptanga. It consists of 7 limbs. Sapta is 7, Anga is parts. 7 parts means whole universe. We have to cover the entire cosmos. Saptanga is entire cosmos, entire Brahmanda we take into that, into the waking state. Therefore Saptanga. Second is Vaishvanara. He is a cosmic being, not an individual person. These 2 points we have to explain. Lokasiddha jagradavasthavantam shariratmanam anudya. The basic wakeful consciousness is known to us. So we take the wakeful consciousness, waking experience, and present it and help you to go little deeper into it, little minutely, so that you discover that complete wakeful state. Okay? Not a simple waking individual alone, entire waking state. State is larger than an individual, okay? In waking state, we think that I am a part of a waking state. I am a small individual within the waking state, moving and coming and going and doing all my things. This is our common man's experience. But here Upanishad is presenting, you are not an individual within the waking state, you are the waking state. Note the difference. You are not an individual within the waking state, you are the very state. You are the entire waking state. That means you are how to say that? Vaishvanara. A waking state. How to put it in English? You are a waking person means it becomes individual. You are a waking being, you have to say. I don't know how to translate it. Vaishvanara. You are a being of entire waking state. You are a wakeful being. This is better translation. Anyway, it's not our language, nor their language. They are Italians. It is not English. So it is in between we are using. It is neither their language nor our language. We are using third man's language. So we have to say wakeful. But anyway, some of the words are closer to them in their language. Okay. So wakeful being, a person, it's not an individual, but it is a conscious being. A conscious being who is all pervasive, who is entire wakefulness, entire wakeful being. This wakeful being refers to entire waking state, not an individual within the waking state. This is the first step we have to learn. In Avastatraya Viveka, first step we have to learn is, we have to learn how I am an entire wakeful being, not a given individual within the waking state. I am not a given individual within the waking state, rather I am an entire wakeful being. How to learn? That he explains, helps us to discover how I am an entire wakeful being. Okay. Lokasiddha Jagrata Avasthavantam Shariratmanam Manodya. When I say I am a waking individual, common man says, ordinary man says, when I am a waking individual within the waking state, that means I am confined to body alone. I am confined to, limited to the physical body alone. So I am within the world. You say world is around me, in front, back and left and right and up and down. Okay, world is all around me. I am a small being within the waking world. This is common man's understanding. Then I become an ordinary individual, a small being where I am in the world is not with me. Common man thinks that I am born into this world. Okay, I am a small individual, born into this world, live here for some time, and I leave this world. When I pass away, when I die, I leave this world. So, world is independent of me. This is common man's thinking. World is independent of me. World exists before I came, and even if I die, world continues. So he thinks that world is an independent entity. Waking state is an independent entity. I just come as an individual. Just like this hall, I come into this hall. Before I came, this hall existed already. I come and stay here for a while in a chair, sit here and watch and then go away. After I go away, hall remains like this. This is what common man is thinking. He says, this thinking is not correct. It needs to be corrected. Why do you say wrong? Because I'll point out. Shruti says, the Upanishad says that it points out your thinking is a very wrong thinking. You have only selective understanding of a waking state. You are not watching the entire waking state. You are only taking a small part of the waking state and leaving out the rest of the state. It is something like, I'll just give an example. If somebody says, I am only this one right hand, neither I am left hand, nor these two legs, nor the head. I am only one right hand. If somebody thinks, how does it look like? I am only this hand alone. Okay? I am only this one hand. So when this hand is sitting here, you think that, oh my God, somebody is here below me. Why somebody is coming here? If I think that I am only this hand and not the other parts of the body, it looks that all others are somebody alien to me, somebody foreigner to me, and this alone is me. Similarly, we think that this individuality is me and this world is separate. I am entering into this world and I go away, but world remains there. This is a common man's thinking. Shruti says, don't divide that. That's a mistake, big mistake. You keep watching, you will understand how it is a mistake. And then what is the right? You and your waking state are not two things. You and waking state are one unit. inseparable unit. Generally, I give this example, which is easily understandable to anybody, of paper. You take a paper, one sheet when you take, it consists of 2 pages. This page, right page, and left page. These are the 2 parts. But can you separate these 2 pages from the one sheet? Can you take one page and leave out the other page? You can't do that, because it is one unit, inseparable. You may tear it, that's a different. But a page cannot be, one page cannot be separated from the other page, because you can't imagine like that. You can't do and you can't imagine. Similarly, any state, waking state, subject, object go together. Okay? The waking subject and the waking object. Object means the entire world. All the world is put together, constitutes one object. Because anything you see, you come to know. You see, you know as an object. I am the knower and the world is the known. I am the subject, world is an object. So this subject object are not 2 things coming and joining. Okay? You watch it. Subject and object are not 2 independent entities and joining, like in a paper. Do you say, while the paper is made, do you see that he will make 1 page and 2 pages and joins them? How is the paper manufactured? Do you see them 2 separately, 2 pages and join them and make them 1 sheet? They can't make it like that. Similarly, subject and object are not 2 entities joining, combining them. Subject and object are one unit. They don't exist independent of other. Subject doesn't exist independent of object, nor the object exists independent of subject. Oh, I have to speak slowly because of to avoid my cough. I can't speak fast. So anyway, it is good that I speak slow. Generally I am complained that I speak too fast. So my cough is holding me, so I speak too slowly. Okay. The subject and object, we give the 2 names. Subject and object, we give two names and think they are 2 things. Just because we have 2 words, we think they are 2 things. They are not 2 things. One unit, one experience, one unitary experience it is. The same when you are subject cannot exist without object. Object cannot exist without subject. Subject, object are 2 names of the one unitary experience. Okay? One, just like a left page and right page. These 2 pages put together is one sheet of paper. Similarly, here subject, object are not 2. When you wake up, what happens? When you come into waking state, do you exist as a subject before you enter into waking state? Did you see when you are in sleep? Did you think that, oh, I have slept for a long time now, I have to wake up because I have to go elsewhere, so let me wake up? Did you think and wake up? Before you came into waking state, you were not existing as an individual. So you are not a subject. You are a subject only within the waking state. Okay? I am a subject looking at the objects, knowing the object. I am a subject knowing the object means I am continuously related. Subject is a subject only in its relationship with object. Object is an object. Object for whom? You say something is an object. Object for whom? Object of knowledge. Object means object of knowledge. Object for whom? For a subject. Without a subject, there is no object. Without object, there is no subject. They are not 2 things. They are one experience. So, when you are in waking state, you find subject object together. Together, they are one together. Okay. So, before you were in waking state, you were not subject, there was no object also. Isn't it? There was no object, therefore you are not an individual, you are not a subject. Only in waking state, do you see the subject first and object comes later? Or object comes first and subject comes later? Which one comes first and which comes later? No. In waking state, when you find you are awake, you find there is something and you are aware of, at least your ears first are aware of, you hear the sound. If there is nothing, you feel the silence. And your touch also, immediately you feel. If you are lying on a bed, you feel the touch. Or cloth, whatever cloth you feel, you touch your cloth. Your skin feels the touch, feels the cloth. So that means you always, when you are awake, you always feel an object and subject together. Okay? This is a waking state. Therefore, there is no way, another example I give you. In dream state, you are an individual experiencing the dream state. Okay? You were an individual experiencing the dream state. When you wake up from the dream, what happens? You wake up. When you wake up, what happens to your dream world? Does it continue? Or did you bring it with you? Have you brought it with you? No. Then did you leave it there? Can you go back and see it again? Where does it exist? Where does the dream world exist when you wake up? Nowhere. Because dream world was present to the dreaming person. The person who was dreaming. To the dreamer alone is the dream world. Because dreamer and dream world are one unit. Okay? Dreamer and the dream world, dreaming individual and the dream world was one unit. They are not two things. So if one dreamer wakes up from the dream, no dream world at all. Similarly, the waking person and the waking world are two, not two, are one unit. Okay. Similarly, when I go to dream, what happens? I cease to be a waking person. I cease to be the waking subject. Then the waking world also vanishes. So, when I am in dream, there is no waking world, no waking subject, no waking object. In deep sleep also. That means waking state is a one unit. This is what we have to learn. First step, okay? The waking is a one unit. Another thing is Saptanga. States, how do we watch the states? I think, did Swamiji say or I have to say? Sakshibhutaha. No, Swamiji didn't say. Anyway, I will have to say. Oh, these are all highly technical. Therefore, Swamiji didn't say. I say anyway. So, how do we look at the states? How do we means? With what faculty? With what instrument? We are awake, we know. We have got a dream experience. We have a deep sleep experience. We have an experience of waking state. We have an experience of dream. We have an experience of deep sleep. But these experiences, with what instrument you know them? Do you know them with eyes? Waking as a state, not the objects within the waking, not the things within the waking state, okay? Not the things within the waking state, but the waking as a state. How do you know? Do you see the waking as a state? State means wakeful consciousness. How do you know your wakeful consciousness? Through your eyes? Eyes can't see wakeful consciousness. Eyes can see only colors. Ears can feel only the sound. Okay. Touch can feel heat and cold. How is the wakeful consciousness? Is it hot or cold? Tell me. Wakeful consciousness, what color does it contain? What color? It doesn't have color. What sound? Sound is experienced within the waking state. But wakeful consciousness itself doesn't have a color, doesn't have a sound, doesn't have a touch, heat or cold, doesn't have a smell too. Smell is experienced within the waking state, but wakeful consciousness itself doesn't have any smell, nor any taste. What taste wakeful state has? Wakeful state has no taste. That means none of the five sense organs can reveal, can show the wakeful consciousness, can perceive. With your sense organs, you don't perceive the wakeful consciousness. Waking as a state, you don't perceive through sense organs. Sense organs are within the state, but state is not perceived through sense organs. Okay. That means one experience, one level of experience we have is wakeful, sense perception. Sense perception is one experience. So sense perception we ruled out. So we experience the wakeful state or wakeful consciousness or waking state not through sense organs. So sense perception is not showing us the waking state. So leave out sense perception. Come to the inner perception, mental perception. Oh, 12 o'clock. So fast. Anyway, we'll take 5 minutes. I think we can't do longer time. He is waiting, Yamaraja is waiting. He has to hit. Lord Yama is waiting there. Anyway, before he starts, I'll finish within these few minutes. So, another is a mental perception means the emotions, the love, hatred, what you call them, compassion, whatever, sympathy, various emotions you experience, hatred, anger, fear. These are all various emotional experiences you don't perceive through sense organs. Okay. Indriyagalinda manasika udvegagalu gottagalla. So, through your sense organs you don't perceive your emotions. Emotions are directly perceived through the mind alone. Okay. Like emotions are directly perceived through the mind. Now, is the waking state like an emotion? Is it a mental experience? Is it an experience of the mind? Experience of the mind means, is it an experience of an emotional state? Waking, there are emotions within the waking state. See, make a subtle distinction. Emotions come and go within the waking state. But waking as a state as a whole, waking state as a whole or wakeful consciousness is not perceived through mind. Mind can perceive only emotions. Okay. Therefore, waking state that we are experiencing is not through emotion. Then is it a thought? Like intellect thinks thoughts. What does intellect do? Intellect buddhi. Buddhi yochana maduttade. Buddhi thinks thoughts, various thoughts. We have got all ideas and thoughts, ideas, ideologies, thoughts. We imagine, think them, dismiss them and all those ideas. Is waking state a thought you personally think? Waking state ಎನ್ನುವುದು ನಮ್ಮ ವೈಯಕ್ತಿಕ ಯೋಚನವ, ನಾನು ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದರೆ ಇರುತ್ತದೆ, ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡದಿದ್ದರೆ ಹೋಗುತ್ತದೆ. Is waking state my individual thought that I entertain? I find myself in the waking state. I think within the waking state. All my various thoughts occur and go. Various thoughts occur, various things I think and leave them, I remember. See, memory, thinking, all those ideas, ideologies, all of them are within the waking consciousness. So therefore, waking consciousness is such a vast one, which is experienced neither through sense organs, nor through mind, nor through intellect. Yet we experience waking state. How? It is a direct experience. We can only say it is a direct universal experience. What is it is called a universal experience. It is an avasthanubhava. We call it avasthanubhava, sakshi anubhava. It is called a directly experience of the state. The very name of the faculty is direct experience. Sakshat anubhava, we call it. Sakshat anubhava in Sanskrit. So, dream also is like that. Dream as a state, not the things within the dream. Dream as a state, you directly experience. Deep sleep, of course, there are no sense organs. There is no mind. There is no intellect. But yet you have a deep sleep. How? Neither with sense organs, nor with mind, nor with anything. It is a direct experience of a sakshi. Sakshi means Atma. Directly, Atma has this wakeful experience, dream experience, and deep sleep experience. So these three experiences we experience them directly through our consciousness, isn't it? Therefore, we have to see them as a direct, these are universal experiences. One more interesting thing is, they are universal and common to all. There is no person who has no three states. Is there any person on the earth? any human being who doesn't have these three states, they are all universal experiences, whether you are atheist or theist, whether in Indian or any other country or anywhere, whether you are a man or a woman or educated or illiterate, or a child or a young man or old man, everybody has this waking, dream and deep sleep. These are universal experiences which nobody can deny. Okay, whatever religion you belong to, even any religion or any atheist, everybody has universally these three experiences. Okay, waking, dream and deep sleep. And these experiences are not sense experiences, nor mind experiences, nor intellect, which is more than it. In fact, they include all our sense experiences. All our ಅಂದರೆ ಇಂದ್ರಿಯಗಳ ಅನುಭವಗಳೆಲ್ಲ ಇದರಲ್ಲೇ ಅಡಕವಾಗುತ್ತವೆ. All our sense experiences are included in the waking state. All our emotional experiences are included in the waking state. All our intellectual thoughts and ideas, sankalpas, all our ideas are included in the waking state. So wakeful state is so vast. Okay? Anything, wherever you go, in fact, time and place is also included in waking state. You move from place to place. You travel hundreds of kilometers, all of them you move within the waking state. See how vast is the waking state. You go to America and come back, or you go around the globe. Where will you go? You go within the waking state. You go to even the moon. You go to moon even in the waking state alone. So within the waking state alone, you see the entire globe, the earth and the oceans, mountains, the entire globe and the sun and the moon and star, space, the entire space is within the waking state. Time also. Past time, what you call beginningless past, the present and the endless future. Time means the beginningless past, the endless future and the present. The entire series of time obtains within the waking state, because in dream you have a different time. This waking time you don't carry. You don't go to dream in the waking time, because when you leave the waking state, waking time of past, present and future, totally you give up. It's a totally new world where it is a new state, new time. The time series of dream state is different. The time series of the waking is different. Okay, the time series of past, present, future of dream is different, and the time series of waking is different. Therefore, the time of and space, subject, object, the world, everything belongs to waking state. So this way, waking is this vast one. You sit in the waking state. You walk in the waking state. You speak within the waking state. You travel by train to long distance, up to Delhi or even Kashmir, or you go to even China. All the traveling is within your waking state. Okay. So you come back. That means all your movements, sitting, walking, eating, jumping, dancing, everything, whatever you do with your physical body, whatever you do with your sense organs, all that exists within the waking state, included in the waking state. All your emotional states are within the waking state. All your intellectual thoughts, ideas, ideology, whatever ideology you have, economic ideology, social ideology, political ideology, religious ideology, whatever you have, all those ideas and ideologies exist within the waking state. Now you see how vast is the waking state. Okay? This entire waking state is one unit. And this one unit, he says, Saptangaha, Vaishvanaraha. This is what we need to learn about waking state. Therefore, that Upanishad, Mandukya Upanishad, gives a name. He is a universal being. It calls Vaishvanara. Nara is a human being. What kind of being is a Vaishvanara? Vishwasya Naraha, Vishwanaraha. Vishwanara eva Vaishwanaraha. This is what Shankaracharya's interpretation. Vishwanara, universal being. Vishwanara is Vaishwanara. It's a grammatically slightly changed. Vishwanara becomes Vaishwanara. That means a universal being. Okay, this is what we need to learn about waking state. The common man's understanding of waking state is too small, too limited. You think that though you have a big property, but you think that you own this much alone. You see the child, though the father may have a big estate, big property, child thinks that only his playthings alone is his. You take away the chair, you take away any other thing, he doesn't bother. You take anything, his playthings, he will shout and scream. He says, this is mine. He says, how can you touch? This is mine. Whatever he plays, he is worried about only one thing. I say, whole this house is yours. This is your father's house. He says, he's not worried. Let them take only this one, my plaything alone. My plaything is important. Similarly, I think my individuality alone is me, not this world. But in fact, whole wakeful consciousness is you. Okay? This is the first step. First waking state we have understood. Next we will see about the dream and also then the other states also. I think today we'll conclude with this and we'll see tomorrow. Saptangaha. I think I have covered. I put little more in technical words that we shall. These technical words we will see in the Mandukya. Directly when we study Mandukya Upanishad, there we will see. This many technicals only waste time. The idea is, I have explained the idea directly. Samanantarottaramante, then dream. Regarding dream we have to understand. Then deep sleep. Then the compare. After understanding each three states, then compare them. Then start examining all the three states. That also we shall do tomorrow. Tomorrow we will deal with dream and deep sleep briefly. Then examine all the three states tomorrow. Okay? నేను కన్నడದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳುವುదా మీకు అర్థమైపోయిందా? నాది అంత సింపుల్ ఇంగ్లీష్, మీకు అర్థమైపోతుంది, ఇంకా చెప్పనక్క. ఇదే టైం అండి. అవును, 11 నుంచి 12. ఓకే, 12:10 ఆಯ್ತು. ಅವರು ಪ್ರಾಬಬ್ಲಿ ವೇಟಿಂಗ್ ಫಾರ್ ಅಸ್. ಸೊ ಡ್ರಿಲ್ ಅವರ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ಓಕೆ, ಓಂ ಶಾಂತಿ ಶಾಂತಿ ಶಾಂತಿ. ಹರಿ ಓಂ ಶ್ರೀ ಗುರುಭ್ಯೋ ನಮಃ. ಹರಿ ಓಂ.